Shen, Shen Yunxin, and Lin Caiying from Wulin Senior High School in Taoyuan, Taiwan. Our topic is Noya Ark. We are going to introduce the following topic: sustainable concrete, put out the fire, and ampere device.
The first is sustainable concrete. We use oyster shell powder to replace some of the cement. Oyster shells are mixed with cement to improve the shell strength and compressibility of soil layers. Oyster shell is used as a building material in many oyster ash kilns in Tainan, such as the Anping oyster ash kilns. These are quick-drying cement and oyster shell powder. We cut the polystyrene and glued it to the metal box with a hot melt adhesive to make this mold. Because we use quick-drying cement, the sand hardens very quickly when water is added to it. The first block was stirred too late and put into the mold, resulting in an uneven surface. We then learned from experience and made 3 blocks, but the molds were too deep and the blocks were too thick to measure. We then bought silicone ice boxes and made 1 pure cement block for the control group and 5 other cement blocks for the experimental group, with ratios from top to bottom of 9:1, 7:1, 5:1, 3:1, and 1:1 respectively. The total weight of all the cement strips was controlled at 20 grams. We used a digital force gauge to measure the pressure applied. This is the process of testing the optimal ratio of 9:1. The bar chart shows that 9:1 is the best ratio, so we use 9:1 as the cement for our house models.
The second one is the fire robot. Many families do not have fire extinguisher at home, but if they accidentally cause a fire, they can't put off it immediately. In this case, we want to design a robot that can extinguish fire automatically and play music like a Bluetooth speaker. In our design, it can detect the heat of the house and know where it's on fire. It has an adjustable sprinkler and can help out put off the fire which is on the table or cabinet. In addition, you can use it to play music by connecting it with your phone or letting it play a lullaby to put your kids to sleep. The sensor beneath it can let it avoid the furniture or the toy and get to the point faster. Inside the robot, there's a big tank to conserve DCP powder and a small can to save CO2 gas. When the robot is going to extinguish the fire, the stick will push the top of the can and let out CO2 gas, then push DCP powder out. And the powder will follow the siphon to go out the robot and put out the fire.
I'm gonna show everyone this device that we designed called functional choker. As we know, Taiwan is situated on the Ring of Fire. As a result, earthquakes are common in Taiwan. Because of such a dreadful catastrophe, many destructions of residents' homes and incompleteness of people's hearts or family, which can be hard to mend, are followed. In this part, we came up with a device which is not only good in looks, but also good in use. Now, let's see what problems have we met, inspiring us to design such a device called functional choker. Let's start with its outlook. In consideration of its function, that will be introduced by me later, we want this device to cover our necks. Besides the consideration of functional aspect, we also want it to be pretty, to be fashion. In this way, there will be more buyers or the general public who will want to try them on so that this device could be promoted to everyone all around the world. Also, there's a possibility that it will combine with our lives as long as it becomes a daily fashion accessory. What's more, in an emergency, it could save our life. Next, there are 3 reasons why we want to create this stuff. First of all, as I mentioned above, earthquake is a common disaster in Taiwan. Moreover, earthquake is unpredictable. It is hard to take action immediately when the earthquake strikes. So we need a solution that can protect us as soon as earthquake strikes. As a consequence of earthquake, the scenarios like the debris of houses are easy to imagine. And these rocks and walls may cover many injured men or survivors who rely on rescue team to save them out of the devastated houses. The second reason to make such choker is to make it easier for rescue teams to find out where people who need help are. For the same reason, to make the rescue action easier to undergo and solve an enormous drawback that the locations of survivors underneath the collapsed building are invisible. Instead of asking rescue team to find the survivors, we want to make the injured people find the rescue team members themselves, also to make invisible location visible. To solve the problem, we've noticed that there are 3 functions that can make our hopes come true. First of all, as the earthquake striking, the first thing we should do is prevent injury, especially for our neck and head. One of the most catastrophic earthquakes in Taiwan's history, 921 earthquake. 2,415 people went to heaven after this kind of miserable natural disaster. And 1/3 of the deceased passed away accompanied with fracture of skull or cervical fracture, also known as broken neck. So the first step of protection we should do when the earthquake strikes is to protect our head and necks. When our choker received the message that the government sent, it means that the magnitude of the earthquake will be big enough to cause damage, and it will start filling itself with air like the airbag in car. In addition, to make sure people are still alive, the choker will start taking a pulse per minute while the choker puffs. This is another reason we use choker as a model of our design, is to take a pulse. Last but not the least, once the vital sign is determined by taking survivor's pulse, our choker regularly emits a signal which shows the location of the survivor. And every injured person location can be seen clearly on the screen by the rescue team. This is our project to create 3S home. Sustainable, smart, and safe. It is not only beneficial to us, but also a positive effect on the environment. Thanks for your listening and watching.